Welcome to the show Ramo with Toppers. Today we have with us Raj Sekhar Reddy from Telangana. Presently he is living in Hyderabad and he has secured All India rank 26 in SSC CGL 2017 examination and has opted for income tax inspector post. ITI post is a dream job for any SSC CGL aspirant. Every topper who gets such a good rank and gets his desired post, he must have gone through some hardships. So we definitely want to know their entire journey, how they prepared, what was the motivation, some pluses and minuses during the preparation, so that it helps every aspirant to plan out their preparation so that they just work to get top rank in only one attempt. So let's learn from Raj Sekhar what he did in the entire preparation and how he was able to secure such a high rank. Raj Sekhar, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for the invite.
First, I want to tell you that this is a very special episode for me because of two reasons. First, this is the first online shoot we are doing, right? Second is that you are the first candidate with whom I'm interacting in English on this show, right? Because every student before you was a North Indian aspirant. So though they were capable in speaking English, but they wanted to reach to more students through their native language, that was Hindi. So I'm very happy that today this show is able to guide the students who are non-Hindi speaking. So that's wonderful to have you here. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. I appreciate a lot.
Raj Sekhar, first question. How did you feel when the result was declared and you saw that, okay, you are finally ranked 26?
I know I would get a good rank because, I got a good score, not to mention. But more than ecstasy, it's more of a relief because, we have been through a lot of court cases, administrative delays from SSC. So finally, more relieved than feeling excited.
Great. So Raj Sekhar, this was which attempt? I mean, first attempt, second attempt, or what?
That was my second attempt actually. First attempt was in 2016. My cousin forced me to write SSC actually. I was about to write UPSC mains. So I came all the way from Delhi, wrote CGL 2016. I didn't know about the pattern. Uh, uh, Actually know nothing about it. So at the end, when I completed my test, I mean that was a year when SSS introduced online test, right? Uh, I couldn't see a single English question actually in that paper. So my serious attempt was in 2017. So I skipped my UPSC actually that year.
Right. So basically, Raj Sekhar, you were preparing for UPSC and then later on you decided to go for SSC. How did you got motivated for SSC? How did you get that information that you should prepare for SSC CGL?
Actually, I didn't know about SSC till 2016 actually when my cousin attempted it. He got ITI. He's a genius, I should say. Anyway, coming to my motivation or my need for attempting SSC CGL is that I've been preparing for UPSC since 2013. Have written three mains in 4 attempts. Missed interview by a few marks, like 20 marks, 25 marks, consecutively 3 times. So I thought I should have a backup. Age is not on my side. I worked in IBM for 2 years, and then I quit that and came to Delhi for UPSC, and I thought I should have a backup. So I thought I should write one more exam, different exam, so that I will be secured. But then my cousin told me, why shouldn't you write SSC CGL? So that way, even he got to me in 2016 itself. So there is nothing motivation. It's just need for security, job security, and also peaceful life for preparing UPSC. So need for backup has forced me to appear for SSC CGL 2017.
Right. So Raj Sekhar, I think you decided to go for SSC as a backup option after preparing for a few years for UPSC.
Yes, sir.
What do you think that any aspirant who is aspiring for UPSC being one of the toughest exam in the country, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Do you recommend them to secure a job first and then go for UPSC? Or there are many aspirants who say that, okay, my ultimate goal is UPSC, so I would be going for UPSC in all possibility. I'm not going for SSC. What do you recommend to the aspirants who are new and who are confused to go for SSC or UPSC?
This is a very tricky question. Basically, there is a lot of dilemmas in it, whether to go for single exam or to go for multiple exams at the same time. because there is not much common between the two exams. Uh, you may go for UPSC and you find entirely different requirement for SSC CGL. There are many constraints uh, and many parameters as well. Basically, for if you are financially secured, I mean, if you have age on your side, you can try for UPSC first, and then if you feel, I mean, you need for backup, then go for immediately SSC, because SSC is not that difficult when compared to UPSC. Obviously, sir. So I think when you feel there is a need for backup, it doesn't matter, like it may be one attempt in UPSC or two attempts in UPSC or five attempts in UPSC, but when you immediately feel there is a need for backup, just go for SSC CGL, because that's not like an ordinary job, right? So it's like a backdoor entry into civil services as well. For example, if you get certain to ITI, you may become IRS sometime later. MEA, you may become IFS. So like it's like a backdoor entry into civil services. But when it doesn't matter, it's one attempt or two attempts. It can be any other parameter. But when you feel immediately there's a need for backup, just go for SSCHL 2007, because this is such a cruel, highly competitive world. You don't take chances by just going for one exam like I did back in till 2016. And luckily, my cousin has guided me. Just go for it. You know, so just if you feel there is a need for backup, just go for it. No more
I completely
thinking about
agree
it.
with your point, Rajsekhar, on this because, yeah, actually, any UPSC aspirant, right, when he goes to SSC and he has still a hope that, okay, I will become Group A sooner or later. That's a really good
Yes,
sigh
sir.
of relief. That's wonderful. What is
Yes,
the
sir.
main reason of choosing ITI, Rajsekhar? And what was your top three choices and why?
My first choice was ITI, and then examiner, and then MEA, and then excise. They say ITI is not just a job; it's a brand, right? So there is a power in the society. I mean, power in the sense not in the negative way, but uh, like you work so hard, and like it's natural you demand some attention, right? So ITI demands such attention from common populace and actually from the public. So, and also it's peaceful job, like it's like a corporate or some IT version of government job. So I want a peaceful life. I have been working very hard, so I thought I must have a peaceful life, so I have chosen ITI.
Right.
No, that is
Rajsekhar, when you got
yeah,
ITI, many of your
yeah,
friends must have called you that now you are income tax. Do save us
yeah,
later. Did it happen?
yeah. I mean, that's been a common theme whenever I meet even relatives as well. I mean, you are working income tax, please save us. And, that is a way to prank people. Even I pranked one of my relatives actually. So, I mean, just a matter of joke, nothing more. I guess.
Exactly, I understand. I
Yeah,
understand. So,
yeah, yeah.
Rajsekhar, I just want to now know a little bit more about your journey, right? We know what
Yes,
you
sir.
have achieved, and that's really, really awesome.
Thank you, sir.
Now,
Yeah,
actually, I want to ask you a few questions that will be very relevant to your preparation, that how did you start and everything. Before that, I
sure, sir.
want to know about your background, right?
Yeah,
That how did your basic education happen? A brief
yeah,
summary will help us to understand your background, kind of.
yeah. I did my schooling in Hyderabad, and then even plus two in Hyderabad itself, and then I went to BITS Pilani, Goa for my graduation. I did electronics and instrumentation engineering there. I passed out in 2011. Then I went to IBM for 2 years. I worked there for 2 years, and then immediately I went to Delhi for UPSC preparation. And then till 2016, I was preparing for UPSC. By that time, I had three attempts, two mains, and then I don't know where I lost. I mean, I gave one of my best mains in 2016, and in 2017, I mean 2016 December, I got my mains result, and it's gone again. So I thought I was contemplating what to do next. Of course, UPSC was always on my mind, but apart from that, I need a backup. So in 2017, I decided not to give UPSC again and go for SSC, and I did it in 2017. And then while while my results were good, but then these court cases came. I thought I should try UPSC again. I did it in 2018. I missed again by 20 marks, and after that, I mean maybe in 6 7 months, by November 15th, we got our results.
Hmm.
So basically, I'm from you can say pure engineering background with NPC like maths, physics, and chemistry in my plus two. That means I can say I have a good idea about maths as well as English because my all my education was in English
Right. So,
language.
Rasikar, first thing I want to understand the multiple kind of attempts that you took in UPSC, right?
Yes,
It
sir.
definitely degrades the confidence because any engineering graduate is employable. He leaves his job, comes for UPSC, three, four attempts, and if the result is not positive, right? What he
Yeah.
feels is somewhere he has, took away his employability also because now
Yes,
he
sir.
can't go back and get a, tech job easily.
Yes, sir.
What
Definitely.
is the mindset at that time? Is it completely negative and discouraging, or there is a sense of light? Okay, no problem. I need to start fresh and go
Yeah.
for exams like SSC to build my career.
Yes, sir. Thing is, I mean, when you first start your UPSC preparation, you think you would crack it in one attempt. Like the first attempt, you'll crack it, you'll get good rank. But then reality is, such an UPSC is such an unpredictable exam. You never know. I mean, even topper doesn't know he would become a topper. So I think having such big and uncertainty in exam like this, while you put a lot of hours in preparation and also a lot of money involved in it, uh, you risk your life a bit. I mean, you sacrifice a few years of life for the preparation of UPSC. So you naturally tend to get a bit lost in preparation, get a bit depressed. At the end, you check into sometimes you check into social media, you find your friends doing good somewhere else, like doing IT job or doing MS, or doing something better than what you're doing right now. The thing is, it's this is a highly competitive exam, right? Even SSC, CGL, and also UPSC. All you need to do have some sort of determination, believe in yourself, trust. Believe that hard work always pays, and of course, you should have that willpower to stay strong in the face of hurdles. That's what I did in UPSC preparation. That definitely helped me in SSC, CGL as well, because you know these court cases are like tier 5 actually. They say so. Even if you perform well, there's always a situation where somebody files some court case and there is a delay and there is uncertainty. You never know what happens. So just keep trusting yourself and doesn't matter what happen outside. That's what I
Right.
did it. Yeah.
So, Rasekar, did you feel
Yeah.
this kind of situation where relatives comes out and say that he was a BITS planning graduate, right? He should
Yeah.
have done his job. Why he left it? Now he is struggling to find another career option in government job. Did this happen to you?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people told me, I mean, you graduated from a good college. You are doing good after in graduation. You worked somewhere. You should have gone to US. I mean, you got opportunities to work there. Actually, if I had concentrated on IBM itself, I would have been in US. But then, it depends on individual choices, right? Uh, some may find money in US is far superior to something else here. And I thought, I mean, uh, first of all, graduation was not my cup of tea, to be honest.
Hmm.
And then software is not at all a cup of tea for me. Uh, it's like, I was forced into it. I thought, I mean, I should try somewhere else, try something else. So UPSC was always on my mind. So I want to be in public services. So hence, I went for it. I mean, there will be a lot of pressure from public, your relatives, your friends. I mean, why shouldn't you go for simpler, easier things where you can make money a lot better, like salary? But then, uh, it's your heart that says to go for it. I mean, just follow your heart and with passion and hard work. That's what I say.
Right, right. That's great.
Yeah.
Really a point that what you do not want to do, actually, you should not invest much time there. And I
Yes.
really support your thinking as well. Now,
Thank you.
Rasika, coming to this, that what kind of student you have been, during early years of your life, right? Troublesome for the
Okay.
parents or someone who is really studious, parents don't care. Okay, he will definitely do something in his life.
Yes, there have always been great support from my family throughout my career, education career especially. But then, once they got to know that I can take care of myself, they felt that there's no need to push me. So I've always been a good good student. I mean, my 10th was 94 percentage. My plus two was 96 percentage. I may not have been, might not have done that great in graduation with 7.35 CGPA, but it's okay. I mean, I enjoyed a bit there.
Right.
But then, once you came out of it, I mean, these exams are entirely different story. I mean, you put different type of hard work, different number of hours. So, so I can say, I mean, I've been a good student throughout my
Right.
education career.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Rasikar, I was going through your profile. There is some more personal question I'll pick up, right? That I was reading
Yeah.
that you lost your father at an early age.
Yes,
Though
sir.
difficult to answer, but because there are many students who face similar kind of issues. So, I would like to bring that point in the interview. How difficult
Yeah.
it was, and what was your age at that particular time? Can you tell something about it to our viewers who may also be in similar position, but they can be motivated that I can do something?
I mean, I was maybe 3 months old, I think so, not even
Oh.
1 year old
Hmm.
when my father passed away. That's a difficult situation, but luckily, uh, there's my aunt, there's my uncle, who supported me very much. I know, if I were be in this situation, it's because them. Support is definitely a need there. Otherwise, it wouldn't be possible to go through all this, turbulence. The thing is, I mean, if you see history, a lot of people have done great things, have lost their father early. I mean, that's a motivation for me because uh, having not having a father is definitely a difficult thing. You need that physical support, physical rock behind you. But then that doesn't stop you from achieving things. Take some inspiration from history. Like there are so many people outside who have done great things, who did tremendous work, not having father since their early childhood. So I think it's all about willpower, and just keep in mind that that shouldn't make much difference.
Yeah, really
Yeah,
nice attitude, Rajshekhar. Because the
yeah,
thing is that there are many people who have n number of reasons of not doing n number of things, right? You
yes,
are
sir.
a testimony that okay, situations can be difficult, but yes, if you want to make a way out, you will definitely find your way. That's really wonderful.
Yeah,
Right. At this point, Rajshekhar, definitely I would like to know a little bit more about your mother, right? How she has, because not having a father means mother is everything, right? So,
yes, sir.
so how she has been motivating you to do something big for your career, for everyone
Yeah.
around you. Yeah.
My mother didn't do graduation, but she did till plus two. But her intelligence is way beyond someone did their graduation. She is extremely intelligent lady. She knew the importance of education from right from my childhood. So she put me right in the English education classes. Provided me good schooling. Provided me every comfort that I needed. So actually I'm very thankful to my mother for providing me such a great comfort and luxury and support for my career and education. Actually, uh,
Right.
you know, uh, I got to know the importance of an educated lady in the house
Hmm.
from my mother, because once your mother is educated, it's like your whole family is educated. So that helped me a lot, actually.
Right. And Rajshekhar, when there is not father is not there, so definitely the earning capacity of the family is less.
Yeah.
Were there financial issues in the family, or no? It was not a big problem for you.
There were never any financial issue in my family. Basically, we got enough land
Hmm.
from my paternal and maternal side, so
Okay.
financial security was always there.
That's really
Yeah,
helpful. That's great.
yeah,
So Rasika, now coming back to your preparation strategy, because if I will not ask you preparation related questions,
yeah,
the non-Hindi speaking people will
yeah,
not lead me actually, because
yeah.
you're the first
I
candidate
know.
on the show
Yeah,
talking in English. So that's really great for us to help everyone.
no problem.
So the first question is that how did you start it? Did you opt for any coaching? Because for students who are non-Hindi speaking, even the availability of good teachers is very remote and less.
Yes,
Because
sir.
maximum teacher teach in Hindi. Even earlier, I used to teach in English three,
Yeah.
4 years back. But later on, revenue compulsion forced me to start taking classes in Hindi. Actually, that's a fact.
Okay. Okay.
So when did you started? What was your plan that you went for a coaching? Or you relied on self study? And how did you do that actually?
As I have said earlier, my cousin has cracked the CGL 2016, right? So he never took any coaching. So he told me there is no need for coaching actually. If you are good at maths and English. So I was naturally good at English. I'm not that great at maths, but good enough. So I thought there's after going through certain question papers like previous years, I thought there's no need for coaching for me. But then at times you feel there is a need for this guidance, this direction. Like especially there are certain areas not everyone is strong at. So there's a you feel there's a need for coaching at times, but then you can manage it if you are good at maths and English. So I never
Right.
took any coaching basically, but I've attempted online exams from various online coaching centers.
So Rasikar, first thing is that which books did you refer, right? I will ask the questions one by one. When your preparation
Yes, sir.
actually started for
Yeah.
maths, which book did you refer?
Uh, for maths, there is a book by Rajesh Verma, I guess.
Hmm.
Aptitude and ability,
Hmm.
something. I couldn't remember it
Hmm.
exactly. It's been long, right?
Hmm.
So,
Hmm. Understood.
uh,
Hmm.
yeah. And for English, there is Plinth to Paramount, something like that.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
for both maths and English, I used to follow these Q Maths PDFs. They used to post
Hmm.
on online.
Hmm.
And apart from that, I used to go through these Kirim's or some other books, previous year question papers.
Hmm.
And I used to practice them. I used to circle them, which I feel it's important to need to revise again. If there is a need to shortcut the answer, I used to circle it. So not many books. Basically, I used to go through online resources like it's like QMaths, PDFs. Uh, like only one book for English, Prince to Paramount, uh, and one book for maths actually, Rajesh Verma. And rest you go through previous question papers. You'll get to know different models. You just build on the concepts, and
Right.
then if you need, I mean, and then again you attempt tests, and from the test you'll get to know different models and practice on this.
Yeah. So Rasikar, what was your approach in learning a particular chapter in maths? Let's say if I talk about you are learning mixture and alligation. So did
Okay,
you
sir.
go through any theory or being engineering background, you will be definitely having little better understanding of math subject. So you
Sure,
started
sir.
directly doing the previous year questions and then saw Rajesh Verma. What was your approach for completing a particular chapter so that you are 100%
Yeah.
confident that, okay, now I can solve these questions?
Now, whatever chapter you go through in maths, you just need to go through first the concepts, theory,
Hmm.
because once you're conceptually clear, then you can go for questions. So I used to go for questions. I mean, the theory first, uh, go through the concepts, and then go from easier questions to tougher questions. So first theory, and then only go to the questions. That was my approach actually.
So how did you complete the theory from that book, Rajesh Verma or Kiran? In Kiran also some summary types of
Yeah,
things are
yeah.
given. So
In Kiran also, before the questions, you'll be finding some concepts. So I'll first go through Rajesh Verma concepts, and then immediately the other concepts which are present along with shortcuts in Kiran's book. I used to like if there is a time or if you feel those theories or the concepts are very interesting, then uh, uh, I used to derive those shortcuts, how those shortcuts came. So once if you, in the examination, if you forget these shortcuts, then you can at least derive there itself if you have time. So
okay, okay,
first
okay.
first concepts and then get into questions. That was my
Hmm.
approach.
So Rajasekhar, in maths, right? You did Kiran and Rajesh Verma, two major sources, and then you attempted the mocks. Uh,
Mocks like heavy, huge.
okay, use number mock. We'll talk about mocks separately because that's very interesting thing, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I just want to know, right, Rajasekhar, did you do anything specific for improving calculation or like learning some calculation tricks like that, or you were heavily focusing on building the concept and solving more and more questions in maths?
Having faster calculations is a good thing in this examination, especially because you have a lot of questions and very less time. So, but then calculations doesn't count much if you don't have concepts, right? So I used to go for concept first, and then if you feel even that concept doesn't give you faster solutions, then I used to go for shortcuts. But always rely on the concept first and then go for shortcuts if you are very confident in it. Because if you forget shortcuts, then at least you can go through normal way to solve the question.
For calculation, did you do any separate practice, like trying to divide numbers faster, or learning the approximation skills so that you can approximate between two options, whether this cannot be correct, this cannot be correct, out of these two only can be correct? Or it was purely based on that approach that, okay, I'll get the answer if it is 17.92, you will calculate till 17.92 and then mark the answer? What was your approach in that?
Uh, Based on the options, I used to go for these approximations because uh, at times approximately you just calculate around, if the answer is 20 but options are like 2, 20, 200 or zero point 0.2, then you can easily go for 20, right? If it's not, you need to do the whole calculations because recently, I mean 2017, there are few questions. It's like they are different by a decimal, like 21, 20.1, 21.1, 20.5. So uh, at times you need to go for whole calculations, and at times you can easily cancel out the other options. But then I was never good at the shortcuts in calculations. I used to
Mhm.
do all the full calculation, like if it is like 12.1 into 13.3, I used to do the whole calculation.
Okay, okay, understood. So, Rasikar, one question I would like to ask, there are two sections that we talk about in SSC CGL. One is arithmetic portion, the
Yeah,
other is advanced math portion, right? Where geometry,
yes,
mensuration, algebra is there, right?
yeah, yeah.
Did you had any separate plan to prepare these two sections, or no? Just one strategy applicable for everything. Like for geometry, if I talk about Rajesh Verma book is more, I think, not SSC CGL book, right?
Yeah, yeah, true, true.
Majorly
Yes,
it's aptitude book, so you will find maybe lesser coverage of uh, geometry portion, lesser coverage of, because in SSC geometry is little wider. We talk
yes,
about so many
that's
theorems
right.
and a lot of things. So did you
Yes,
do
yes.
any specific thing for these areas like geometry, algebra, mensuration, trigonometry, or no, you just relied on previous year papers and that book?
To be honest, I relied on that book and previous year questions. And of course, I mean, from 2017, the questions have been different in the advanced aptitude. So I think not just relying on those mocks helped me a lot. Mocks from SSC Tube, mocks from Q Maths, mocks from Classmate Academy, mocks from somewhere else. They helped me a lot because not many models covered in those two books were covered in these mocks. So at least there is no need to study one more book because when you attempt so many mocks, you only you tend to get every model that can be asked in the exam. So I think, I mean, mocks are more important than books. I felt.
Really, really wonderful point you have answered, Rajshekhar, because many students ask me, which book shall I buy, right? And you have answered it beautifully. Rely on very basic books. Then you go for the marks that will plug all the loops, holes
Yes, sir.
that will be there. You will get all kind of questions in mark, and that really, really
Yeah.
nice answer you have given. Rajshekhar, how much score you had in tier one total? Because tier one, I'll talk about total marks. If you
Yes, sir.
remember the individual sectional marks, also let us know. What was
Yeah.
your score in tier 2 exams in each subject, and what was
Sure,
your
sir.
score in tier 3, and the total score also?
In Tier 1, it was 178.
Hmm.
In Tier 2, Maths 173 and English 185. In Tier 3, it's a 61 marks. In total, 597, 597.
597 total, right?
Yeah, yes,
So
sir.
coming to the English, as you told that your English was really good, right? So did you practice actively the vocabulary? Because even SSC English is much wide, right?
Yes, sir.
It
Yeah,
is wider in way you need to know a lot of vocabulary. You need to lot of word uses also must be known to you to score really high.
yes, sir.
And you scored 185, around 183, 185. So that
Yeah.
means you were really, really good in English. So I just want to know what was your English preparation strategy and what do you recommend to the aspirant to follow to have better English
Yeah.
score?
The thing is, I mean, for English, you should treat it as like any other language. Have passion for English. I've always been fond of English. I used to. I mean, you believe it or not, I used to carry a small Oxford dictionary in my pocket in my graduation because I found out that my vocabulary was not good in my graduation. So from second year, for the whole semester, I used to carry that small Oxford dictionary in my pocket. Uh, Such was my passion. I used to watch English movies. with subtitles. Especially if I find any new word, I used to Google it out. And but then for this, especially this examination, uh, since I've always been fond of English, I used to, of course, UPSC preparation did definitely help me a lot. Uh, in the way, for example, like filling up the passages, that vocabulary, preparing for UPSC did a great wonders for my English. If it's not for UPSC, at least reading newspapers will definitely help. Uh, and while sleeping, during this preparation, I used to open this Vocab 24 app. That's a very good app actually.
Hmm.
Uh, Vocab 24 app usually takes some essays or some keywords from the Hindu newspaper, and from there you get to know all the important keywords on that day. And also they have, I think so, the repository of idioms, phrases, meanings, synonyms, antonyms, etc. So it's like if you're fond at it, I mean, fond of it, you are definitely going to score good marks in English. And of course,
Right.
there's a grade up. In the
Hmm.
grade up as well, I used to solve many quizzes of English and maths. Like,
Right.
I mean, there is, I mean, uh, for English, there is not many resources, to be frank. But you can go for Vocab 24 app, and also any standard book, and go for mocks.
Rasikar, one very important question I would like to ask. In
Yes, sir.
English, yeah, right. My perspective is the bit I am explored to English. That's why I
Okay.
chose to become a math teacher. I was very bad
Yeah.
in the kind of English language. The grammar portion especially has been a great trouble for me.
Yes.
If you talk to me about learning the grammar, I mean, when I
Yeah.
started doing something in graduation, I pick up the book Renan Martin, and in 2 days,
Yeah.
I dumped the book. I said I can't read grammar, right? So I
Yeah.
never learned any grammar rules, though I did well in CAT also in English, because I read a lot of books, and through reading I improved a number of things. But CAT
Okay.
is a different exam. Comparatively, CAT asks
Yes,
more
sir.
reading comprehensions. It is more reading heavy than the grammar heavy actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
SSC has a lot of grammar also. So did you went specifically targeting grammar, learning rules, or you had some other approach of just like treating the grammar that okay, I will be able to score decent mark in grammar without doing any specific preparation or whatsoever? How did you
Yeah.
do that?
The thing with English grammar is it's very peculiar. I mean, you use one word there, and you don't use the same word somewhere with similar logic. The thing. So what I did is, since I have already said earlier, I prepared for UPSC, so I used to read a lot of newspapers. So that definitely helped me, at least in the structure of the sentences and also in vocabulary. Like regarding, so if you want to crack this examination, and I mean, that's the first criteria, and not to master the English language, right? So my suggestion is just go for any one of the basic SSC CGL oriented English books, and just go through them. They are not that tough, because when you go for Renan Martin, you tend to feel like they are more like you are mastering English language than rather than preparing for any examination. It's good. I mean, if you read Renan Martin's, well and good. I mean, if you understand it, it's absolutely good. But then if you are having lack of time, and also you want to purely exam oriented, just go for any one of the books oriented for SSCGL. I mean, that's more than enough, and that's not tough as well. It's very easy actually.
So
Yeah.
coming next part is two more subjects, Rashikar. One is reasoning, other is general awareness. So I will first talk about reasoning.
Yeah.
How did you prepare for reasoning? Any specific preparation, or it was left to monks only?
There is one that huge book for reasoning. I couldn't remember the name. Uh, for basics, I used to refer that, and then uh, once I got bored of that book, because there are a lot of rules. I mean, you get confused. So I used to go for these mocks, lot of mocks, and these mocks used to cover every type of reasoning question. So I basically relied on mocks rather than any other books.
And for general awareness, for engineering graduates, or even I would say science graduate,
Yeah.
general studies section becomes very difficult. Though you had UPSC background, I know
Yeah.
that's why you
Yeah.
are smiling. Great advantage. But still,
Yeah.
SSC asks very irrelevant questions in GS, right?
Yeah.
Very irrelevant questions sometimes, right? I remember some years, some people told me Did they even ask the height of Deepika Padukone or Katrina Kaif? Later they apologized for that, but they asked this question also. So how you can prepare for irrelevant question in SSC if you are targeting to score 45, 46 out of 15 prelims?
Yeah. The thing with SS is, I mean, you'll get one or two irrelevant questions. I mean, you get shocked in the examination hall itself. But the thing is, it's labeled relevant, right? So it means irrelevant for anyone. This is a relative examination. This is purely relative examination. If you score better than everybody, you're the topper of the examination. That's it, right? You need not to score 100 out of 100. You just need to score better than someone, the rest of the candidates. So I mean, if it's relevant, just leave it at it. I mean, do not Google it or do not study uh, the entire section chasing after relevant questions like this, the height of someone else. So I used to follow this lead the competition .in website. I mean, it's very good website. Uh, it is for general knowledge. You'll find chemistry section, physics section, history section, geography section. Like it will very crisply covers every section. Not many know about this website. So apart from that, I mean, UPSC preparation definitely helped me regarding certain aspects of history or culture or geography or economics. But then, having said that, it's completely different game in SSC. UPSC is completely different to SSC. I mean, the vice versa as well. Uh, so, I mean, stick to any one book, or as I said, lead the competition.in website, and don't give much weightage to it. I mean, yes, it carries 50 marks, but then you never know. You might read a whole book and you might not score much. So
Right.
you will be scoring.
Rasikar, there is a very popular book for GS that is known as
Yeah,
Lucent. Did you know about that book and did you try to read it?
Lucent, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I didn't read it. I mean, I don't have much time. I thought, I mean, I don't want to give much weightage to GK. I mean, GK is important, but then you never know from where the questions might come. So I stick to very basics like lead the competition routine. It's very, very basic information. And I thought, I mean, I have been preparing for UPSC, so that could help me. So I didn't give much time for GK apart from this website and
Okay.
UPSC
Okay.
preparation.
Did you solve questions of GK from that book, which contains around 10,000 questions?
No, I didn't. No,
You did not do, right?
no, I didn't.
Okay, okay, understood. Right. So
But,
coming to
but but I even in GK section as well, I used to do a lot of mocks because mocks
understood,
might
right.
cover
So
previous
coming to
questions and also some current affairs related ones. So
right, right, right. So now moving to the tier two stage, Rajshekhar,
yes,
when
sir.
tier one is over and you are going for tier two. So when
Yeah.
tier one was approaching, maybe I want to know that your preparation for tier two was also complete by then, or you had some plan, okay, let tier one get over, then I will start specifically preparing for tier two. How was your plan for tier two
Okay.
preparation? Get over, then I will
I think, I
start
mean,
specifically preparing for tier two.
segregating this tier one and tier
How
two
was
is the
your
biggest
plan for
mistake
tier two
okay,
preparation?
any SS aspirant can do because English and maths are very important subjects because these two subjects appear both in tier one and tier two, in an English in tier three. So I mean, I didn't do like separately reading for tier one and tier two. I used to uh, combine, like when you prepare for tier two, it obviously it covers tier one, right? So I used to prepare English and maths like I've been preparing for tier two, so it would cover for tier one as well. Don't do the mistake of separating tier one and tier two. It doesn't work like that. Uh, and also you don't want to duplicate your work, right? So just prepare for tier 2 and it will cover tier 1 as well. It will save time, and after tier 1 you can directly switch over to mocks for practice and time management.
Right. And what was your attempt strategy? Like, there was any specific kind of pre-decided sectional strategy that I will be doing this section first in these much time, then the next
Yeah.
section like that? What was your plan?
First I used to go for reasoning. I used to give 15 minutes for reasoning, no matter what. Uh, Irrespective of the toughness of the section, I used to give 15 minutes for reasoning and 5 minutes for GK. I mean, you know or you don't know. That's it, right? So 5 minutes for GK uh, and 10 minutes for English, no matter what, and 25 minutes for English. One question, 1 minute, because English is such as maths is such a scoring. You don't want to lose a question uh, by not calculating a bigger calculation. So I used to keep 25 minutes for maths, 5 for GK, 10 for reasoning, 15 for reasoning, and 10 for English.
Right. So, Rajsekhar, while attempting the paper, if I talk about especially GA section, right, you cannot know all the questions, right?
Yes, sir.
So, did you take chances there? I mean, if suppose there is a question where you are confused between two options, what did you do? Left it or attempted it?
No, I used to have this predetermined strategy because when you attempt a lot of marks, you get to know your strengths and weaknesses. So I thought I should keep 25 minutes for maths, no matter what. A bit slow in doing calculations. So, but I used to start with reasoning. I used to give 15 minutes for reasoning, no matter what, irrespective of the toughness of the section. It may be tough or it may be easier. If it's easier, I mean, if you complete it, you can easily switch over to the other section. But then if it's tough, no matter what, you should switch to the other section. After 15 minutes, I used to switch for GK so that you can bit cool off your mind, right? It's GK section. Either you know or you don't know. So it's 5 minutes for GK section. And then immediately switch off to easier section, English. 10 minutes for English section. Similar to GK, I mean, synonyms, antonyms, passage, very easy. And then 25 minutes for maths. You have a lot of calculations. You don't want to miss out a question because the calculation is huge and we couldn't do it because of lack of time. So
Right.
15 minutes for reasoning, 5 minutes for GK, 10 minutes for English, 25 minutes for maths. That was my predetermined strategy. I used to follow in every mock in examination.
Right. So exam went well on the pre-decided strategy. That means in 15 first minutes, you were able to attempt all reasoning question or you left something like that.
Yeah, I couldn't. Within 13 minutes, I completed every question except one question. The rest 2 minutes, I marked it as I would like to do it sometime later after the rest of the sections were completed. So I switched over to after 30 minutes. I switched over to maybe English or GK. Uh, I think it's GK. I think so. GK within 5 minutes I couldn't attempt them. I got 37.5. I think so. Not bad, I
Okay.
guess.
Very good. Very good. Mhm.
And then I switched over to English. I mean, it took just 10 minutes. And for maths, it doesn't took more than 15 minutes. That was easier paper actually. Luckily,
Hmm.
easy shift, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now coming to second thing, right? If I talk about reasoning and maths, Rajsekhar, it is more about you solve, get the answer, and then mark, right? Even
Yes,
if you
sir.
make a mistake, you don't know you have made a mistake. You will mark like you are 100% sure because you got an answer.
Yes,
That's
sir.
why you mark.
Yes,
But
sir.
when I come to these two sections like English and GA, there are many times where you are confused between two options. Like synonym
Yes,
question, you
sir.
are confused between two options.
Yes,
In
sir.
GA also, some question is there, you are confused between two options. What was your strategy that if I'm confused between two options, I will mark or I'll leave?
If you are confused between two options, just mark which you think is correct, and then mark as review later. Like at times, what happens is, I mean, you tend to you want to come to that question again later, but then because of lack of time, you couldn't come. So you want to mark that answer and then mark it as a review for later as well, so that at least you will be attempting this question if there is lack of time. Otherwise, if you have time, you can again come back to that very question and think about it.
Right. So how many
Yeah.
questions did you attempt, Rajsekhar, in prelims?
In prelims, I think so. It's 99 questions.
Why did you left one question? Which section it
Uh,
was?
in the reasoning section, it was actually.
Okay, reasoning.
Uh,
Okay.
I had 7 minutes, I guess. 7 minutes,
Okay. Okay.
and I couldn't crack that question in the reasoning. Yeah.
Right. So, Rajsekhar, coming next, before going to the prelims actual exam, how
Yes, sir.
many mocks did you attempt for prelims specifically?
For prelims specifically, might be around 120, I guess.
120 mocks.
Yeah.
One mock test series or many mock test series?
Many mock tests like Classm Academy,
Hmm.
SSC Tube, Q Maths, Grade Up, weekly tests. So it's like
Right.
heavy. I mean, when I get bored, I use to attempt mocks. That's the best way to spend your time and time management, right?
Okay, that's great. When you got bored, you attempted mock. When people get bored,
Yeah,
actually, they waste their time, right?
yeah. You
That's
just attempt a
wonderful.
mock.
That's
Yeah,
wonderful. Rajsekhar,
yeah.
coming next, what was the mock frequency? That were you giving one mock every day or one mock every 2 days or what?
Yeah. At times I used to give 1 mark a day. There were times I used to give 6 or 7 marks a day also.
Okay, that's really really awesome. Before the
Yeah.
exam, just before the exam.
Yeah, just before the exam, giving marks is very important because you want to carry that momentum into the examination, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to suddenly start over in the examination. So it's better to give an examination the day before or in the morning, and then get into the examination hall, because
Right.
uh, because it will carry that concentration, sharpness into the examination.
So Rasekar, after giving the mock, right, did you analyze the mocks or you just look at the score and left it and went for another mock? What was your
You
start?
know, I used to definitely uh, 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 definitely want to know where I have gone wrong. So I used to go through the wrong answers, as well as some. Luckily, you might answer some questions right as well. So you just want to look at them, get to the concepts clear, and then go into the next mark.
Okay. So did you make any notes from the mocks? Like a particular question went wrong. So did you
Yeah.
make any notes that this kind of question I'm making wrong, or you just, learned it and left it?
No, I used to make notes because that's important, because you don't want to repeat the mistake, right? So I
Hmm.
used to make notes about it, and just want to think about it, where I have gone wrong, why it is wrong, and also you just want to know, you need not repeat that mistake again, right?
That's
The
wonderful.
very purpose of preferring marks over books is you just don't want to do mistakes, either in time or in questions, similar questions.
Right, right. Rasekar,
Yeah.
coming next is that there are many students, right, who talk about when they get a low mock score, right, they get discouraged because it is
Yeah.
ultimately a kind of you see where I stand.
Yeah.
So, did any such episode happen with you that you attempted a mock, you got a bad score, and you were disappointed, or
Yeah.
you felt, okay, no worries, I'll give another mock and get better score?
You know, I've said earlier, right? I used to give 7 marks a day at times. The reason
Hmm.
behind that is, I mean, I think at times you may underscore in one of the marks, and they tend to give one more mark
Hmm.
to get over that insecurity. Yes, it
Hmm.
happens to anyone. It happened to me actually. Uh, Maybe I couldn't score 110 also in one of the marks in prelims.
Hmm.
So I got depressed, of course, but this is not the true examination, right? So I just went over the examination, in the mock, got to know where I got wrong, and then immediately gave another mock. I think immediately I got 160 again.
Okay, okay, great, great. So,
Yeah,
Rasekar, what was your average percentile range in the mocks? Because many students want to know that what are the toppers percentile, scores in the mocks that they gave in average fashion, right? If you can
yeah.
tell a range where your percentile lied, so that they can get a fair idea what they should target in the mocks.
Like I used to get percentile like 95 percentile,
Hmm.
around that. And I used to get around 140, 150 in the mocks.
Hmm.
Not greater than that. At times 160, 165. But
Hmm.
never 180, 190, never.
Okay, okay, that's really
And
really good point that you made. Yeah,
yeah,
consistency is important, right?
yeah,
Consistent scores.
consistency. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's really great.
Consistency is, I mean, I never expected I mean, do like 190 or 200 in the mocks, because mocks are designed in such a way that you will never get them.
So
Yeah.
when you went for tier 2 examination, Rasekar, did you
Okay.
start giving tier 2 mocks before prelims tier 1, or you started giving tier 2 mocks just after this prelims exam was over?
Yeah, immediately after I got my Taiwan results, the first mock I gave was in English. I mean, the very evening, I guess, because you just don't want to lose momentum, right? So I just want to carry that momentum. So I gave that mock immediately the next day or in the evening, I guess, in the evening.
Okay, okay, really good, good. So when you started tier 2 mocks, right, because it is now one subject, 200 questions in English, one
Yeah,
subject, 100 question in math, and the longer
yeah,
duration, right? Did you find any difficulty, or you were still enjoying the giving mocks like you were enjoying previously?
yeah. The pattern has changed, of course, from
Hmm.
type 1 to type 2, right? When pattern changes, you definitely, in the first few marks, you feel difficulty in time management, especially. You know the answer, but you couldn't uh, solve that question because due to lack of time. So, first few marks, it will be difficult for anyone for suddenly changing to different format. But then once you do 4 or 5 marks, then you get to know how should I manage my time, what to attempt, what not attempt, which is the best way to attempt, which sections are the first to target. So it takes at least 3 or 4 marks to get into the groove regarding type 2.
Right. So now, Rashikar, another question I would like to ask that giving mains mock, right? What was your frequency of mocks? And because tier 2 got delayed many times, right? So in that
Yes,
period,
sir.
how many mocks did you give
Oh
for
my God.
each English and maths?
I think, I mean, every time type 2 was delayed, it's frustrating and it's depressing actually, because you put all your energy so that you would like to give your best by that time, but then you suddenly get postponed. It's very difficult to maintain composure at that point of time, but then it's not in our hands, right? So every time it got postponed, I used to write one more mock, one more mock. So I think it got postponed 3 times at least because of court cases, because of cat, etc. So maybe I might have given 80 English, 80 maths. I think so.
80 tier 2 English and 80 tier 2 maths. That's
Yeah,
really wonderful, right?
yeah.
So mock has played a great role in your preparation that I can clearly see, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And it's really great to attempt these many mocks. Actually, that's wonderful,
I,
right?
I, I can actually quote now. Marks didn't mock me in the examination hall.
Okay, that's really good quote. Actually,
Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah.
Right. So, Rastegar, now coming back to the tier 2 examination, because after so much delays, it's very difficult to even maintain the momentum. But I think mock kept you motivated enough to go
Yes,
for
sir.
it.
Yeah.
At what day your exam was scheduled?
Examination was 21st February 2018.
Okay, the day where it happened multiple times, right?
Yeah, yeah, multiple times, yes.
Okay,
And then
okay,
March 9th, and then it was postponed again, cancelled and postponed to March 9th.
okay. March 9th. Okay, was the final
Yeah.
date. Right. So when reviews started coming in from 17th, Rajshekhar,
Yeah.
that okay, maths is coming very difficult because that was the perception. First time, they gave that kind of paper, which was more figure-based geometry and mensuration questions, right? Did you
Yeah.
watch the reviews and did you change any kind of exam taking strategy? What was
Yeah,
going through your
definitely.
mind? Yeah.
Yeah, I think to be honest, I am a bit sorry for those guys who got like earlier shifts, like in 17th to 20th, because you know you never know what type of questions would come, and they are the first to face them, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. Nonetheless, I mean, I got to know the type of questions that are coming in the examination from 17th to 20. Of the 17th, 18th, and 19th, I decided, I mean, what areas to target. I practiced a few questions in the mensuration in the geometry section. That definitely helped me. So I'm thankful to those guys who came out of the examination on that day and put the questions in the public domain.
Right. So later shift because that year normalization was not there as well, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So coming next, right, Rajsekhar, your tier 2 is over now, tier 1 is over now. I think mostly you will be happy that okay, I have done well in both sections, both levels actually of the exam. Now coming to
Yeah.
the tier 3, any specific strategy or UPSC prep has taught you enough to write a good kind of essay and
Yeah.
everything else?
Uh, I mean, UPSC or reading newspapers will definitely help in the tier 3. But then tier 3 is again a bit of a different thing because of so many other parameters like unfair means case, like what to write, what not to write in the examination hall. Because once you write your address with your name in it, you are just done. I mean, your candidature is cancelled. So you get to know such type of things from online coaching or some other coaching where you uh, get to know these trivial details. Apart from that, I mean, definitely you should take coaching for because uh, 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 letter writing and essay writing, which are particular to SSC, will be helpful. So one must take. I suggest. I mean, I didn't take coaching for any of the types, but then I suggest just go for type 3 coaching, uh,
Okay, so that your
especially
writing
writer.
skills can be measured also.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Especially, I mean, if you write something, some particular detail which can points to you, that's not good, right? So at least in that aspect, it will be helpful.
So in tier 3, before appearing into the that written exam, did you write some of the letters and essays on your own to see that how you are writing and you got it checked somewhere, or you just saw on your own that okay, it's fine?
Yeah, we have, because of this court case, we have this boycott group. Uh,
Hmm.
if you know about this. So I was one of the moderators in that group. So we
Okay.
have this select group of guys. We used to write letters and essays and mutually review each other's.
Hmm. Okay, okay. That's a
So
good community learning, right? That's wonderful,
yeah,
right?
community learning. Yeah,
That's really, really great, right? So,
thank you, sir.
Rajasekhar, there is another fight that happened after everything was over because 2017 was somewhere hanging. What will happen to the final result? I mean, how was that period? Because you must be unsure that, okay, because there was a time when it felt that 2017 will be cancelled, right?
Yes, sir.
Court stay and all thing happened. What
Yeah,
was going through your mind that what will happen to 2017? Nobody knew actually.
yeah.
Fortunately, things turned out in
Panned
the
our way.
favor of all the genuine student, and the result
Yeah.
got declared finally. So, what was going through your mind? I mean, how did you cope up with that situation? Because why I'm asking this because right now also due to COVID situation, a lot of
It's
students
getting
are a
better.
bit confused that exam is being delayed. What will happen? What will happen to upcoming exams like that? So I think 2017 students can definitely guide them how to maintain the composure, stay calm, and just face the situation. Right?
The thing is, 2017 examination, I can say landmark in SSC and government services examination history. I think so because there's been a lot of delays, a lot of postponements, a lot of strikes, the need for transparency and accountability in the commission, and need for faster completion of examination. So many things came out in the public domain regarding what needs to be done in the for the structuring of examination, especially structuring of the SSC. But having said that, like this is not an exception in India because across different states as well, you find so many examinations have been delayed because of court cases. You can say administrative delays, but it's not in candidates' hands. So the best thing is keep on preparing, keep faith in yourself, keep trusting yourself. Even at one point of time, we thought a 2017 examination would be cancelled, but then just trust yourself. In the worst case, if it gets cancelled, you will be writing again. Uh, so if you keep on preparing for the examination, it will definitely help you. But you keep hinging on that point that examination won't be cancelled, and you just neglect your preparation. You never know, right? So just don't take that chance. Uh, Once you get, I mean, the very thing one must know before getting to write any examination, especially the government examination in India, is that you need to take into account so many things, delays, court cases. So that's important. So uh, since you have taken these two parameters into the account, you should just keep trust and faith in yourself and keep preparing for the examination. Just remember that 2017 was a very difficult examination in paper as well in the situation because of
Right, right.
alleged so many things which the Supreme Court didn't think, they thought otherwise. Finally, a report gave clean check to the examination. So if some examination of 2017 with so many things happened came clean outside, there is nothing to worry about other examinations. Just keep
That's
faith in yourself.
that's that's good message, right? Rasagar, coming to one more important point, right? That students definitely want to know from you is that they always want to know what is the routine of a topper, right? I mean, was any specific minute routine for every day that okay, morning I'll get up, do this, do that, like that? What was your
Uh,
preparation day-to-day plan that you created? Any short-term targets, long-term targets? How did you kept it going in a proper fashion?
Yeah, I mean, especially after Tier 1, I used to make this own schedule, what to read. Especially in maths, if I want to do mixtures and irrigation section, I used to do that. Immediately do practice questions and then do quiz from grade up on that section, and then go for mocks. Like it can be any one of the online mocks. After that, I used to do English one section, from vocab 24 read one of those section of idioms, and then or any other uh, standard book, and then go for mocks or quiz. So read that section, practice the section, and then go for mocks in that section. So that is to my routine. Like, so once you read, you get to know some basics. Once you practice, you'll be strong in the basics, and uh, once you practice marks, you'll be good at not only basics but also in time management. So I used to do this was my particular routine all the way to the examination.
And any track on number of hours you studied? in a day?
A number of hours. I mean, it used to fluctuate, but at times I used to study like 10 hours. At times I used to study only 2 hours, 3 hours. So depending on the day, mood, uh,
Okay.
determination. So it used to
So on the
fluctuate a
day
lot.
you studied only for 2 hours, what did you do on the entire day, right?
If there were any chess match, chess game, or cricket match, I used to watch them. Cricket usually takes 9 to 10 hours, right?
Right, right, right.
So, I mean,
So
pursue some other hobbies. Meanwhile, I mean, this is not such an examination. You need to put some 10 or 12 hours exam, 20 to 10 to 12 hours a day. You can just put some 4 to 5 hours a day and consistently, and you can clear this examination very well with good marks.
right, right. And during preparation phases, Rajshekhar, did you had
Yeah.
any kind of things that motivated you continuously? Because when you go into such long processed exam, right, there are
Yeah.
times when you feel frustrated. What I'm doing here, right? My friends are
Yeah.
enjoying in US and I'm stuck here. Right?
Yeah.
So, did you had any kind of motivational mechanism to motivate you? How did you do that? Like you told, when you got bored, you gave a mock, fine. But
Yeah.
were there any times where you feel little kind of coming out of the situation, like what I'm doing here, right? Like
Yeah.
that. And then
Definitely, you
how did you
feel.
motivate yourself?
Definitely feel at times, what am I doing here? Because you feel many of your friends are somewhere else doing something better, and you're stuck here doing nothing, and you have been spending all your life in a single room studying, and there's not much productivity here. At times you feel like that, but then that's the choice you made, right? Just remember, that's the choice you made, and you need to put in hours. At the end you'll get it, right? So just remember that hard work pays, and remember that you have made this choice, and it's your responsibility to fulfill that wish. So that's the motivation I used to keep in mind, because the social media is such a thing that it can easily make you depressed, especially jealous.
Right, right. So
Yeah.
a question based on social media now, Rajsekhar, how much
Yeah.
active you were on social media during your entire SSC CGL preparation period?
Yeah. This is a bit strange to say this. While I was not much on social media during the preparation, but immensely, immensely on social media after the examination process was completed, because due to court cases, we need to be on social media to pressurize the
Okay,
commission.
okay, yeah,
Uh,
right, right.
Not much during the examination, not much.
Okay, okay. For another important thing I want to ask Rajshekhar is that when you were preparing for this exam, like this is a CGL kind of exam, right? There
Yes,
are
sir.
many aspirant, right? Like you had a very well-defined mock strategy. There
Yeah.
are many aspirant, right, who doesn't know when to start giving mocks. What
Okay.
according to you should be their strategy? Because they every time ask when I should start giving mocks, right? So
Okay.
what do you think that because they wait that okay they will complete their entire theory first for all the chapters, then they will start
Okay.
giving mocks. Then again when they complete it, they feel like now they need to revise completely, then start giving mocks. What according to you is the right time to start
Okay.
giving mocks?
The thing is, there are two approaches to giving marks. One is whether you want whether you wanted to check your time management. The other is whether you want to check your concepts. So, uh, if you want to go for checking the time management thing, uh, you should be good at your concepts and then give you the mark. And if you want to check your concept, just go for theory, practice, and then give mark. Because these are two different approaches. Because you know the concepts, you are perfect in the theory, you practiced well, but you are poor at time management. You might not be attempting every question in the paper, and you might be losing a lot of marks. The second thing is you might be good at time management, like attempting fast, but you are not good at concepts. You won't be getting marks. So I think you need to balance that. You must feel confident about your subject, and then go for giving marks, because giving marks without having concept doesn't make sense, right?
Right, right. A very nice suggestion actually. Now,
Yeah.
Rastigar, also from your profile, I got to know that you got married recently. So,
Yeah.
big congratulations for that. That's really wonderful for
Thank you very
starting
much.
a new journey. That's wonderful.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Rastigar, one more question before we end up this interview, right?
Yeah.
Very important question now is that now
Yes, sir.
exam is over, result is there, you got what you wanted.
Yeah.
Now, I think you are waiting for the posting to come. So, what you are
Yes, sir.
doing nowadays, right? A lot of free time you have. So, what you are doing nowadays?
This COVID pandemic has grown over everyone, I think so. So I'm stuck just like everyone else in the homes. But then I'm spending my time with my wife and spend few hours playing chess. Rest of the time preparing for UPSC, reading history right now, modern history.
Okay. Really great, really great.
Yeah.
So Rasikhar, I wish you the best in terms of your career in future, whatever you are targeting with your life
Yes, sir.
as well. So now I want to know any message for the aspirants so that they keep on dreaming to become a topper like you.
Sure. To be honest, when I started preparing for SSC I never expected I would get ranked like 26. Yes, after Tier 2, I was expecting a better rank than 26, but then it's okay. I'm very happy with this. So you never know what rank you might get. Uh, it's okay, but you should give your full, I mean, the best for the examination because this is a highly competitive examination. Around 15 lakh people write this. So to get a good rank and to get a good home posting, you should work very hard. But having said that, there will be times where you might get depressed. There might be times where you want to give up this examination because of so many other parameters, either because of lack of knowledge or lack of time, or because of court cases or so many other things. But just keep faith in yourself and trust yourself because that's the thing. Only that thing drives you moving forward, not your number of hours you put in for the examination, but the will to succeed, uh, and keep trusting yourself.
Right. So once again, thank you, Rashikar, for coming to the
Yeah.
show and
Yeah.
telling your entire preparation journey and sharing important moment, your strategies with the aspirant, and that will definitely help them to plan their preparation for
Sure.
sure. And
Sure.
I wish you the best for your life and any future goals that you have in the mind. Stay
Yeah.
safe, stay healthy, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you a lot.